2 weeks ago, it was revealed that the reason Enfield is still operating under an emergency, besides laughably waiting for other communities to end theirs first, is because essentially there might be some money tied to remaining in a state of emergency. Now, money in politics is usually met with such derision that it is not uncommon for a campaigning politician to feel the need to declare, "I am not for sale." But what happens when the entire political structure of a town is for sale, as seems the case here? I previously touched on how the reasoning for the emergency being based in money stands to erode trust in government. For all the town buildings and municipal trucks and sundry equipment, government is not a physical institution. It exists primarily in our minds, and its legitimacy is based solely on the amount of trust a population puts in their form of government. When the political class itself undermines this trust, it stands to destabilize the government more so than any J6 or Antifa demonstration ever could, and in fact serves to feed those factions. This is not hyperbole. Look around. People do not trust their institutions. The handling of the pandemic the past 2 years is just one glaring example. Government, with its access to vast amounts of data, may have the duty of advising people, of telling them what it thinks they should do. But when should turns to must, when recommendations turn to mandates, that is when government fails, because force is the failure of government. It is a failure of any relationship, really. And a relationship between a government and its people has far-reaching implications on the lives of all. So when a government such as Enfield enacts emergency powers, using those powers to apply force to those who it represents, turning shoulds into musts, it rightly opens that government up to doubt. And when that government then refuses to relinquish those powers, that government ends up working against itself and devastates its foundational trust. And trust lost, even more so than freedom, is not easily regained. Now, there are plenty out there credentialed in the management of government and the political sciences who have been educated in operating the levers of government and the workings of policymaking. But when you operate the device in a way it is not meant to be operated, when you overload the machine and force it past its red line, you run the real risk of breaking down its engine. And it seems that is where we are. Enfield's engine, held long past its red line, shows damage, even as the throttle has been eased off in recent weeks. And sure, it's true, our engine of democracy is imperfect. It misfires plenty. It spits, it sputters. But we know our engine runs and has run well enough for quite some time. But it needs taken care of, not beaten down, maintained and not mistreated. It needs to be operated in the manner in which it was designed. Any other way is abuse, and an engine so abused cannot be blamed for the failed actions of its operator. Enfield's operator, this council, is responsible to its engine. Do not put any more strain on its parts, its overstressed residents. It's time for this council to run our government the way it was meant to be run. End the emergency here and now. Allow Enfield's engine to cool down, and pray we can still restore the trust lost these past few years. Thank you.
Thank you.